When World War II ended in 1945, millions of soldiers and civilians across Europe faced an uncertain future. But among the most unexpected stories was that of German women who found themselves prisoners of war under American supervision. These women, many of whom had served as auxiliaries, nurses, or clerical workers for the German army, were captured in the final months of the war as the Allies advanced deep into Germany. They expected harsh treatment, driven by years of propaganda that painted American forces as ruthless conquerors. Instead, what awaited them was something entirely different: the first taste of freedom, kindness, and even American barbecue. When the women were processed through POW camps, the shock was immediate. There were no beatings, no starvation, no humiliation. The Americans treated them with a professionalism and humanity that contrasted sharply with what they had endured under the Nazi regime or feared from Soviet forces. Their camps, though enclosed and guarded, provided adequate food, clean clothes, and even recreational activities. For many of these women, the most memorable moment came one warm afternoon when American soldiers decided to host a cookout for the camp, an event they would never forget. The smell of smoke drifted through the air, the sound of laughter mixed with country music from a nearby radio, and the German women watched curiously as the Americans grilled meat over open flames. Barbecue was not just a meal, it was a cultural ritual, a symbol of abundance and normalcy that contrasted the devastation of post-war Europe. When the women were invited to join, hesitation gave way to amazement. Tender meat, smoky flavors, and sweet sauces unlike anything they had ever tasted. It wasn't merely food, it was a small act of reconciliation. Through that simple gesture, barriers softened. The soldiers, many barely older than the women themselves, shared jokes, cigarettes, and music. For a brief moment, enemies sat side by side as human beings, not as symbols of nations at war. Letters and diaries written by former German POWs decades later recalled that day vividly: the warmth of the sun, the smell of grilled food, and the kindness that defied everything they had been told to expect. Some wrote that it was the first time they had felt safe since the war began. The barbecue became more than a meal. It was a lesson in humanity. It showed that compassion could exist even in the aftermath of unimaginable violence. As time passed and the POWs were released back to their homeland, many carried with them not only memories of war, but also a newfound understanding of their former enemies. That single afternoon around a grill symbolized a bridge between two worlds: the defeated and the victorious, the guilty and the forgiving. When historians later revisited these accounts, they found in them a glimpse of what post-war healing could look like. Not through grand political gestures, but through small acts of shared humanity. The story of German women, POWs, tasting American barbecue for the first time is not just a curiosity of history. It's a reminder that even in the ruins of war, kindness can spark the first taste of peace,